Welcome back to Formula Friday. It's been 3 weeks since we've last had a show. Of course, other than the long winter break, we are your weekly Formula One show. I'm Nick. That's Lewis. We have some news to touch on. We're not going to get to every single thing that happened over the last 3 weeks we've been gone, but we've got plenty of news, including new candy related F1 candy, a Logan Sargent update, and my favorite are award nominations for the first ever, the inaugural Formula Friday Awards, name pending, that you will get to have a voice in. We have our nominees and you get to vote. But before we get to all of that, Lewis, how was your break?
It was all right. Just did normal holiday stuff. Spent time with the family. Spoiled the kids for Christmas. Santa spoiled them. I spoiled them. It's always a battle. Who's going to spoil them more, me or Santa? I never know who wins, but it's an internal battle. I don't know who's going to win that.
Well, I hope one day you beat Santa, because if we're being
Yeah,
honest, I bet Santa wins every year.
it does. One year he brought the kids a Lego table. It was insane.
Santa never brought me a Lego table.
I know. Me either. Anyways,
Wow.
what about you? How was your break?
Good, chill. I basically disconnected from the internet as much as I possibly could, so I've been away from discourse, which turns out good for your mental health.
Mm.
I playing a lot of video games, reading a lot of comics. I am reading the current Spider-Man run, really fun. Uh, been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been on a kind of a Marvel kick, but like Marvel comics, not the Marvel movies.
Okay.
But Marvel comics and basically anything that's not part of the Marvel cinematic universe. It's been really fun to kind of dig into literal decades worth of this type of stuff and try to get caught up on. But I mean, yeah, that's mostly it. I was off work for a week and a half, so I just I built models, I read comics, I vegged. It was very nice.
But
Good reset.
how's your chess been in that time?
I didn't play any chess, so I also took a break from chess. It's healthy to do. Like I was still doing puzzles and everything every day, but as far as playing actual games, I didn't start playing again until this last Friday when I was done with my break. I just wanted to completely give my brain a minute to descramble, which is for the best because I was starting to tilt a little bit in chess anyway. So the break has helped clearly because over the last 2 days I've won 2 of my last 3 games.
Ooh,
So there's that.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
No transition. I got nothing. I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
got nothing
rusty.
either. Well, let's just go back into it, I guess. Let's start with the news.
All right.
Cadillac signed a new reserve driver. Lewis, do you want to guess who the new reserve driver is?
If I had to guess, it would be some probably American. Colton Herta.
No. I don't know he's racing the F2, you goofball. I don't know why we're doing this. We both know who it is. It's Zhou Guan Yu. He is leaving the Ferrari reserve driver program and rejoining his former teammate Valtteri Bottas as the reserve driver for Cadillac. I like this move. I've always liked Zhou. I don't a lot of people when he first started racing, because it was 22, I believe it was his first season when it was still Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought he was like basically a country hire, like he had the backing of
Yeah.
China and he brought money in. But Zhou is, I think, a really solid driver. I think Zhou is a solid number two style driver, which is really funny because he's now in a team full of number two drivers. And I'm not saying this in an insulting way. I'm just saying this in a very I like Zhou a lot, and I've always liked him a lot. And I've been a little upset that he hasn't been on the main like racing and as a one or a two over the last couple of years. So I'm excited to see if he gets more opportunities, I guess, being
Yeah.
reserved for Cadillac.
I feel like he never got his fair share in Formula One either.
Hmm.
Like he, let's see, was it 2 or 3 years he raced, but he scored 16 points. Like he wasn't horrible. I mean, that's better than some people that driving that haven't really scored points in the
Yeah,
Alpine number two.
100%. I think that, I mean, especially after that scary crash he had, I don't
Oh
remember
yeah,
which race that
that
was.
was Silverstone.
Yes, that was terrifying. And I mean, thankfully he was fine. But even after that, it feels like he didn't lose a step. He was always. I remember him being consistent.
Yeah, especially in that car too. It wasn't like a super fast car.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Joe's going to be a championship winner someday because I don't think he will ever be. But I think he's good enough to deserve to be in Formula One. So I'm glad that he's with a team that's not Ferrari because Ferrari, it's even if you do get a chance to step up, which you don't, because surprisingly, both Ferrari drivers are kind of resilient.
Yeah, it,
But it's he, I don't know. I
and,
just
and it's a good pairing too. Because if you remember, like he was teammates already with Bottas.
yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, that's what I mentioned at the top too.
Like
There's
it's
already some
good.
established chemistry. I saw a joke online today where it's the American team has a driver from Finland, Mexico, and China.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like they're making the right steps again. Like these are all very good drivers. I feel, and like people like these drivers,
Mhm.
and it's not even that just fan favorites. They're good.
They are very, very much deserving of being where they are, and I do hope that Joe gets an opportunity to go somewhere. And I think he could do well at Alpine. I'm not trying to curse him, but I think he would. I would rather see him as a number one or number two at Alpine than as a reserve in any other team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Alpine's doing. Hopefully, they have something ready to go. And they, like I said, switching from Alpine or the Renault engine to Mercedes next year, maybe they were just banking on that, and they just totally kicked on last year. I'm really hoping, just for Pierre's sake.
Well, we can use that as a transition, Lewis, because Alpine is having a Mercedes engine, and guess what? Mercedes found a loophole in the new engine
Ooh,
regulations, as far and Red Bull as well. And it's something with the compression ratio. You're more in tune with the yeah, thank you. You're
th-
more
th-
in tune with more of the technical aspects of this sport, which I really appreciate about you because you are very good at explaining it to people like me. But it's something with compression ratios, and it's like a loophole, but it's not a loophole, and it's this whole thing that both Red Bull and Mercedes found. So they're both of those engines are gonna have some kind of advantage, which is what, 6 teams?
yeah. It's from what I've known is like basically the regulations state that the engines have to have a certain compression ratio
Mhm.
at room temperature. They added that in this year, like at
Oh, interesting.
room temperature. So now they Mercedes and Red Bull saw that go, oh, okay, and now they can like tweak it so that compression ratio is no longer the same when it's at a higher temperature.
What does that mean for people who don't know engine?
A compression ratio. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's hmm. It's how much like you can compress and how much you can squish it.
Mhm.
So they found a way to get more boom out of the because you need four things for an engine. A suck boom was it? I forget. It's
You only
yeah,
need 3. It's fuel, air, and com
compression
spark.
spark, yeah.
Fuel, air, and yeah.
Yeah, but then if you get more compression, it goes boom more, so more power, more boom, more
Mhm.
power. So now they've found more power. So what they're doing is they're be able to compress more of the fuel to get more boom, more air. And so they more boom, more power. And I love this. I love loopholes. I wish we wouldn't punish so many loopholes. Like
Mhm.
one of my favorite examples, especially right now, is remember the DOS system Mercedes had?
Mhm.
The dual axis steering or whatever. That was a
Yeah.
great loophole. And FAA was like, yeah, you found a loophole. Well, you could run out the rest of the year. I
And
I
I mean,
I wish they
I
would do that
love
more
when
often.
Formula 1 does that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're
I
good. That's my
love when
point.
Formula 1 does that because that's the reward. You were working within the regulation, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, and you found a way to improve it. That's that's Formula 1. You found the winning formula. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yay.
I feel
It's
like
always
that.
funny to me when people get mad about things like that, but they're not cheating. That's what it's like what happened with McLaren and the whole flexi wing thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all it's part of it. It's the sport.
Yeah. translates into other sport or racing series too. Like again, not a NASCAR podcast, but NASCAR. That is like
Mhm.
what they were built around and everything. The moonshining days and everything. They're got to get the cars to look like they're street legal, but not. And that's what I love about racing is find those loopholes. And that's why I love IMSA and the endurance racing is those cars aren't running the same engine. They're very different. But IMSA
Mhm.
does a BOP, but yeah, like balance of power. But yeah, like you could have in theory of like which they do with the uh, GTP, which is Aston Martin runs the Valkyrie, which is designed by Adrian Newey, and it runs a
Mhm.
V10 naturally aspirated. But then you have Cadillac out there running their turbo hybrid stuff. It's cool. They're racing together and they're two separate engines.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I,
indeed.
I love that.
It is my favorite. And now to be fair, nobody knows what this is actually going to mean until the cars are on the track. Get it ready. New regulations. Nobody knows anything. All we know is that they found a loophole that in theory should make it a little faster, but we don't know how much faster and we don't know what that'll do with the aerodynamics and the drag and how it'll affect everything else because with these cars, you tweak one thing and then you have to tweak other things and it's about finding the balance. Otherwise, you're going to be bad or you're going to try to be like Mercedes where you get rid of side pods for a whole season for some reason.
But what's Enzo? Was it Enzo Ferrari quote? Aerodynamics are for people who can't build an engine.
Uh-huh. They sure help though, Enzo.
Yes, I mean, I think it's funny that Ferrari is the people complaining about this right now.
Uh-huh. It is really funny. It's funny but also kind of sad.
Yeah,
I need Ferrari to continue proving why they are the the Formula 1 team.
yeah,
It,
but they're like I think you put it perfect before. They are the Cowboys of Formula One. They used to be
they
really
really
good.
are.
Everyone loves them for some reason, but it's just I don't know.
Hmm. Well, while we're on the Mercedes train, we have a date for their car announcement.
Ooh,
January 22nd, 2 weeks.
oh, oh. Why then?
I hope you're ready for the F1 W17.
Eh, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but like that's weird. So soon.
I think it's the soonest one that we have because Cadillac had that record for a bit because they're going to do it during the Super Bowl, which is the 8th of February, I believe.
Well, isn't Red Bull doing it this month too?
They are. They're going to be in Detroit. You're right. Red Bull and
Yeah.
Racing Bulls.
January 15th. So they're doing it next week.
Wow. Okay. I was wrong. Call that a Nick fact.
You just
I was
nicked
way off.
the information.
I did.
Yeah, hey, so we're gonna predict that the Red Bull car, the livery is gonna look like this car that's up on the wall that has no halo. It's been the same livery since.
Uh huh.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna bet that.
All right. Don't have another easy transition here, so we're just gonna move on. Cadillac, their partnership with Formula One is already bearing fruit because Kit Kat and Cadillac. I don't know. I keep saying Kit Kat Cadillac just because it sounds fun. I
Yeah,
don't actually
Kit
know if
Kat,
Cadillac
Cadillac,
is
give a dog a bone.
exactly. I don't actually know if this is because of Cadillac, so I'm not going to say that. But F1 and Kit Kat are doing a collaboration. Kit Kat is the official chocolate bar of Formula One, and they're releasing little chocolate bars that just look like little F1 cars. As far as I know, right now they're only in the UK,
Huh.
but I need to start seeing them here in the US because they look incredible.
So is there gonna be a left Formula One and a right Formula One? Like, is there gonna be a good one and a bad one?
I think you're thinking of Twix.
Oh yeah, I am. Gosh, it's I haven't had a Twix or a Kit Kat in so long. Never mind.
See,
Like,
see, what I'm curious about is if they're going to be attached at the wheels and then you just break them apart
oh
like
yeah,
that.
that's what those are. Yeah, sorry.
And then you have that conversation where do you pick off an F1 car before you eat it or you just stick all three in your mouth at once?
I feel like it depends on the what team you think that car is. Because
Mm,
if you're Ferrari, you just take a bite out of it.
yeah.
Or if
if
you're
you're
Red Bull, you separate the two. This
if
one's a
you're
good one.
if you're McLaren, you just take a bite out of the bottom.
You're McLaren, there's no chocolate on the bottom. It's all rubbed off.
Ugh. All right. Well, speaking of McLaren, Lando. He's number one. He's officially taking the number one. I really liked his reasoning behind it. He said it wasn't necessarily that he felt he needed it. He did it for his team.
Okay.
He said the team worked just as hard as I did to get here, and I want them to have the pride of wearing the number one on them, knowing that that was because of them, which is an incredible response. I love that. And Lando
Yes.
needed to make that decision shortly after the last race of the season because they already needed to get stuff ready for the testing and for
Yes.
next season.
Well, the testing, and then they got to pay their dues for the next season too. Like each driver has to pay money for it, depending on how many points they have. And so, yeah, I'm assuming they had to get it all registered quick.
Also on the number front, Max Verstappen is not going back to the 33 rather,
Oh,
but he's finally getting the number he's always wanted, 3. He
hell
couldn't
yeah.
get it before because of Danny Rick, but now Danny Rick is never coming back.
RIP.
Mm. So Max is number 3 now. That's cool.
Yeah, which I love. It's also really bad because number 3 is the number I love to race with. So now it's gonna be everyone's gonna have the number 3 now. So they've just ruined it.
Yeah, I can't believe Max Verstappen is the reason the number 3 is so popular in racing culture.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
that
Only
whole
Max Verstappen.
yeah, that whole shelf is not Dale Earnhardt or anything. Behind me.
Well, kind of on the Red Bull front, Sergio Perez was on a podcast.
Oh.
Earlier this weekend, yesterday. It's the Cracks podcast. And I'm just going to take this quote that I got from Natchez98 on Twitter. Very strong words from Checo. Quote, being Max's teammate at Red Bull is the worst job there is in F1. Another quote, in my first meeting with Horner, he told me, we're going to run with 2 cars because we have to run with 2 cars, but this is for Max. Another quote, he was faster than Max until the upgrades. And I mean, there's clips. You can find this. You can listen to the whole Cracks podcast if you'd like to. Sergio's just confirming everything that we've basically speculated with and everything that was pretty much already out in the open after Christian was ousted out of Red Bull and then Laurent came in and he's like, hey, why don't we give some of these upgrades that we're not using to Yuki and see what happens?
Yeah.
And then it suddenly everything worked.
Yeah, if anything, this just comes out more that Horner was not a good guy.
No.
Like, he really was not. And I don't get why the Red Bull organization kept him around. I really don't.
I wonder if some of it was just the fact that they were there because of him, because he was there from the beginning. It'd be like trying to oust Nick Saban when Nick Saban was going on that insane run, and then even it took Nick Saban retiring before. And granted, Alabama didn't really stop doing well under Saban, but you know what I mean. It's kind of a similar thing in my head where he had all this success, and it's one of those things where you look the other way because of the success, which isn't right in my opinion, but it's how a lot of places operate because if you're winning, you can ignore the other terrible things.
Yeah, there was like yeah. It's just I get Max is really good, but you can't just like totally throw the second driver underneath the bus like that and just expect him to be okay with being on the team like that.
Exactly.
Just I don't get what was going on in his head.
That's why the Red Bull curse, I think, was more of a Horner and old guy curse, whose name I don't even want to utter anymore because he's out of the sport forever and we don't have to worry about him ever again. Old one eye. But I don't think the second seat is cursed. I think it's just having Max Verstappen as a teammate is hard, and people were giving him a royal treatment, and obviously their bandwidth was 90% Max, 10% the second driver, and the second driver was mostly there just to clean up extra points. And then the second that second driver couldn't clean up extra points because their car was completely engineered around Max and how Max drives, then they gave him the boot.
Yeah, there's more quotes from it too. He said, "At my farewell with Christian, I asked him, 'Listen, Christian, what are you going to do when it doesn't work out with Liam?' And he goes, 'No, well, there's Yuki. And what are you going to do when it doesn't work out with?' And Christian says, 'No, don't worry, we have a lot of drivers.' Uh, he goes, 'I told him, well, you're going to use all of them up.' He says, 'Yeah, I know,
He makes me so mad.
I know,' and I don't get. So there's always that rumor like, 'Oh, he's coming back on the grid. He's going to do this.' It's like, why would somebody want this?
Yeah, I don't there it really seems like Christian's strategy was a shotgun approach because they had the Red Bull Academy, which was
Yes.
developing drivers so they didn't have to. So I think it also made it very easy for him to see these drivers as numbers on a spreadsheet instead of developing a relationship, which you're supposed to do because that's part you develop a relationship with your drivers, you listen to them and you understand them and you work together to build the car because they are just as important as you are as far as how the car goes. They're the ones racing it.
Yeah, and I feel like having the V carb or AlphaTauri, everything, really took a lot of the pressure off him. He didn't have to develop anybody. He had a whole team to do it for him.
Hmm.
Like normally, yes, it's not like Zach Brown's out there developing everybody, but it's under his umbrella essentially. Like
Hmm.
he just like, oh, go develop over there. You're not doing good enough. What But it's just he had it easy, and he still took it like too serious in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am very excited to see what Checo can do with Cadillac. I still firmly believe that either him or Valtteri is going to retire within 2 seasons because I still think that their whole deal is just to get the team caught up to be competitive. But I think that there still will be success on his part, on his end. Him and Valtteri both. I think they're both going to do a very good job with what they're given. And it's going to do nothing but slingshot Cadillac to be competitive within the next 5 years.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be the best American team that we've seen in a long time.
Definitely, basically the only American team. Speaking of, we gotta get back into the groove of these transitions. Haas, the other American team, has a new title sponsor. Tell me about it.
So they were already teamed up with Toyota Gazoo Racing,
Hmm.
which they had a partner. It wasn't even. It was a developmental partnership, I think is what they called it, where it was they would share data and everything between the two, between Toyota Gazoo and
Hmm.
them. But now that it's official partner, where they um, it's now I'm trying to find exactly. Sorry, it the new name for it. TGR Haas F1 team. That is their new name, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I am getting a little annoyed at how wordy some of these team names are becoming.
Yeah, it's acronyms that get to me.
Yeah.
Like VCARB, it would be different if we couldn't say just VCARB, but if we had to go the Visa Cash App Racing Bowl or the VCARB, that would be annoying.
Hmm.
It's not like remember when we used to be called like NCAA football,
Yeah.
college football? Yeah,
Hmm.
that was better, but yeah, the names are getting a little long. Which I get, they need the money, especially Haas because they're not getting any money from Gene. But yeah, I agree with you. It's getting a little long for the names.
100%. And the last of our news, Lewis, we have a Logan Sargent update. Our
Ooh,
favorite former American F1 driver, will
well,
be making his debut in the Rolex 24 Hours with Arab Motorsport. I believe this is his third start in IMSA, and
yes,
he's doing the Rolex.
yes. When he's
You
from
are
Florida.
you are our resident IMSA expert. How are you feeling about all of this?
Feels good. He's not in the top tier. He's in the B tier, which is cool. It's a spec series. I think I've said this all before. They're all pretty much the same,
Hmm.
just set up different. But it's nice for him because he's going to be back in Florida racing, where he grew up. He grew up in Florida. He's from Florida, so this is essentially racing in his backyard. And Oh, that's cool. I really wanted to see him do good. I know there's a lot of former Formula One drivers that are racing LMP2 and everything, so it's going to be difficult. And the thing I love about endurance racing is the endurance part about it. It's not just putting the fast lap after fast lap. It's being consistent and being avoiding trouble for 24 hours. And I love it. And it is one of the things I mark on my calendar every year to watch. And I
Mhm.
am going to be excited watching for Logan. Are you going to watch it this year?
I am going to make an effort to watch it. I've wanted to get more into IMSA, and I mean, I love the idea of the Rolex. It was one of those things where my dad was always a NASCAR guy, but he would always try to watch the Indy 500 and he would always try to watch the Rolex because that is some pure that those are I think the I think the Rolex is the biggest IMSA race, right?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that fair? Yeah.
It's the Daytona 500.
It's the Daytona 500 of that. I really like it and I'd love to go sometime. I just don't know how we've talked about this before. I don't know how to watch 24 hours of racing because I have this weird problem where I need to watch if I'm going to watch something I need to watch beginning to end.
Oh, okay. So one of the things I look forward to every year is I literally get up, turn it on, put on the TV, and I'll sit there, watch it for a while, go do something, come back, watch it again. It's just constantly evolving. I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because I'm old and that's what happens. And
Mhm.
I sit and it's like, oh, what happened here? This person's wait, what happened to him? Oh, what happened to Sheldon Vanderlyn? Oh, and then you're just watching it and it's fun and you fall asleep watching it. And I love it. It's just 24 hours of pure racing.
I get that. I don't want to miss something basically. And I would get upset if I started something and I didn't miss something incredible. Whereas if I don't watch it at all, then I missed it, but I missed the whole race, I guess. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Well, the good thing
It's
about
it's very weird. I'm
yeah,
very weird.
alright, it makes sense. A good thing about 24-hour Daytona, especially the Peacock broadcast, which they put all up on Peacock, which is awesome, except for the commercials. That's a separate gripe. I hate the non-commercials. Commercials don't need a music for a loop. Just put nothing on there. If you're gonna have
Mhm.
no commercials, but just put a like, please hold while we come back. Don't put music on there. It's annoying.
Or crazy idea. There are some broadcast, basketball or whatever, they just go to a camera up top and they just show the court. Why don't they just go to one of the track cameras and just not talk or anything? It just shows cars driving past, which I think is probably the best solution.
Yeah. Get this. IMSA, I believe IMSA TV or whatever, which IMSA's from America. It's owned by NASCAR.
Mhm.
You can't watch it in America because the Peacock has the rights. Shows it nonstop, 24 hours, no ads, no nothing. When they go to when they want to break, they just stop talking for 5 minutes.
That's incredible. I love that. I sometimes you just wanna hear the cars.
Yes. And it's crazy that that's not available in America.
It is crazy.
Anyways,
I
I was just going to say Peacock does the thing where every hour they let you know, or every couple hours, they're like, here's what you missed so far, which is
yeah,
cool.
I mean, that's fair. That's a good thing to do. That's what you should do for a 24-hour race. I I'll try. I'm gonna try. I really want to try watching Indy. I want to try more for Indy this season than IMSA, because I don't have the bandwidth to do pay attention to three different motorsports. Four, if I haven't decided if I want to focus on NASCAR yet this season, but I really want to watch Indy because I really want to see how Mick does.
Hmm.
I mean, you've known me. I've constantly said that I want to see Mick do well, Mick Schumacher. And I don't think he got a fair shake in Formula One, similar to what we were talking about with Zhou. But the difference is Mick was stuck in the Haas, the 2021 and 2022 Haas. And I want to see him have a chance in a racing series with a car that's not actually crap.
Yeah, which 100% makes sense.
Mhm. That's all the news I got, unless you have any last minute items you'd like to discuss before we jump to our main course.
Nope, I got nothing. That's pretty much the only good part or good main things that happen. Sorry, brain fog.
All right. Before we do this, I did want to read an email I got from somebody who likes to watch, listen. Matt, he said, I'm curious how the new regs changes impact the first 5+ races. Those races should be pretty unpredictable. After that, I expect Red Bull or Mercedes to pull away as they adapt more quickly. I want your thoughts on that. Something I think we can discuss a little bit here, just pinball.
Uh, So with the new regulation, I think that is a good point. The first like 5 races or so,
Hmm.
especially the first race, because I think we saw. I don't remember. Maybe it was the start of the ground effect era. Wasn't it Haas at Abu Dhabi did really good, and then they
Yeah,
just
out of
tanked.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit, a couple races. The thing that I think a lot of teams aim for is they do small upgrades, but then by summer break, that's when you see the major upgrades and everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, I see within the first 5 you see the start of the incremental upgrades. I do think after halfway you would see the bigger upgrades. I don't know who's going to do what. I really hope that Alpine, like I said, kicked the can last season so they could focus more on this upcoming season. Red Bull and VCAR, but then they have completely new engine that's new to Formula One, so that's going to be crazy. And then I don't, I, it's just those newcomers that I'm kind of worried about, like Audi,
Hmm.
Cadillac, and the new engine. I just don't know. What about you?
Well, okay, so on that same vein, I agree with you. I think it's going to be extremely unpredictable until we're back from the summer break, and then that's when we'll start to see, okay, this is the team, this is the championship contenders,
Yeah,
whatever. What I'm most curious about is how the rookies this season are going to handle this new regulation, because they came up in a ground effect world and their driving style is based on these ground effect cars. And they've done very well. Most of the rookies did very well last season, in this last season of this regulation, the peak of this regulation. I wonder, I think we're going to see which of these rookie drivers is legitimate by how they can adapt to this, because that's what happened to Danny Rick and Lewis Hamilton. I still think that's what happened to Lewis Hamilton and Danny Rick, is when the ground effect era started in 22. It just didn't suit their driving style, and we're seeing what's happening there. By the way, Lewis Hamilton's birthday is tomorrow, so happy early birthday, Sir Lewis. But
Hmm.
I'm curious to see mostly just how like Ollie and Kimmy and Isaac transition from no ground effect to whatever this regulation is, to see if they can, to see how much of it is them versus the car, or just see, it's more how adaptable they can be, because
yeah,
that is the mark of a true great driver. And I feel terrible saying that about Lewis Hamilton, but I mean he's not a great driver. It's just it upset his driving style so much with
yeah.
this new with the last new regulation, and it's just me turning into a Lewis Hamilton apology tour again. I do that a lot. And that's what I'm looking forward to. The first 5 races plus for sure. Gonna be hectic, gonna be crazy. I can't wait for us, our last show before the season starts, to do our season predictions, because I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, because are we gonna do our season predictions before winter testing or after? Because that's gonna be because that we winter testing is good, but you also see the top teams like Mercedes sandbag.
Yeah, let's do it before the season. You can't trust winter testing.
Okay,
It's like
cool.
spring training in baseball. It's fun to
Yeah,
watch, but
yeah.
you can't tell anything from it.
Hey, I tell that guy's gonna be a good rookie. He needs to be on the 40-man roster.
Oh, he's only hitting 150. Crazy. I'm just
I,
talking about the
I,
Rockies now.
I'm just saying 150 anymore is good as long as you hit 4 home runs with it.
All right. I
Back
know
in
the
my
standard.
day,
I know the standard has gone down, but if you're hitting 150, you're getting sent down to single A.
really? Tell that to Schwarber.
Schwarber.
Yeah, I mean he's hitting awful. But anyways,
Okay, the main event. This is going to be our inaugural Formula Friday Awards. The name might change. I don't know. It's just kind of off the dome. I couldn't think of any fun alliteration. I wanted to call them the Fridays, but then I'm like, no, that feels weird.
funsies.
Eh, we'll workshop it eventually, maybe, or it'll maybe just be the Formula Friday Season Awards. But it's exactly what it sounds like. Lewis and I have nominated different drivers and whatever. We'll go through the nominees, and then you, yes, you can get a link to this Google Doc that we will include in the description of this video. And I'll have it on my socials. Fill it out, and then next week we will announce the winners of each category. So we'll just go down in order. I have it on this form. Rookie of the Year, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, and Ollie Behrman. Now, since you and I can't vote in this, do you think we should share our opinions on it now, or should we wait so we don't sway any votes?
Maybe that's what we need to do is sway some votes.
Yeah?
Because I mean, I specifically nominated someone here that I don't think is going to win, but I think he should.
Okay, explain.
I think Kimmy, great driver.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good car. I mean, look what George did. Ollie, good driver. Decent car, but I just feel like didn't perform as much as Isaac Hadjar did. Yes, I'm a homer. I'm going to be totally 100% truthful in this. It's a homer, but I think there's a lot of validity behind it. I think he outperformed the car, and I think that he has proven that he got for the demotion, but I think he's proven that he can outdrive the car, and I'm really hopeful that he can perform well at the Red Bull. But if you were to take these three drivers and you put them in the second seat of the Red Bull, which one do you think would be best? That's what I'm going to end my statement with, and I rest my case.
All right. So my argument, when I thought about this over the whole season, I was alternating between Kimmy and Ollie. And of course Isaac had popped up, and Isaac has been good. He's been consistently good. But Kimmy has been consistently better than consistently good. He had that gap in the middle of the season where they had adjusted some things on the car, but I'm not going to blame him for that. He did what he could, but after they got the car back to what he was comfortable with, he was flying again. He got third? He got multiple podiums this season. He's a really good driver, and he's going to be a championship winner. So that's what I'll rest my case on. Kimmy good.
Oh, and it's up to you guys to decide who better.
It is. It's not up to us. Best race of 2025. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options here. Canada, Silverstone, Brazil, Baku, and Abu Dhabi. What are your thoughts?
If I had to pick one, I'd go Silverstone. What about you?
Mm-hmm. See, and I feel like I'd be a homer if I said Silverstone, but genuinely, that race was really good. It was so good. It had everything. It had Nico's podium. It had the rain, the chaos, an incredible car in the McLaren. But I would also probably vote Silverstone, but I would give Brazil an honorable mention just for how exciting that entire weekend was.
Yes. If we're going for best weekend, that would be my vote.
That's fair. Best livery of 2025. This one was a little hard to narrow down, but it also wasn't because there was a lot of them. But I think these 5 made a real impact. It was McLaren Silverstone, the Brazil Williams, the Red Bull in Japan, the McLaren in Monaco, and the Circuit of the America Aston Martin.
Okay. My vote, Homer, Red Bull. I'm a sucker for a white Red Bull.
I liked it. I liked the tribute of it, and I understood it. But at the end of the day, it was just a white car with a red circle.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Simplicity. I love simple.
I have to go with the McLaren Silverstone car because that chrome livery was just so well done. It just looks so good. It was almost like an homage to the 2008 era McLaren, but also still paying tribute to the current McLaren, which is a beast. It really, to me, is a perfect combination of things. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the Aston Martin from Coda because you were drooling over that thing.
Yes, and I love it so much, and it I don't know. If I was voting, this one would probably take the longest because I would go between the two because Red Bull, white Red Bull, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
The Aston Martin Coda we haven't seen, but like I naturally am drawn to a white car. I love them. Got a picture of the white right there. I can't point the camera. I love it. I love a white car. It's something beautiful to me. But that Coda one is a very, very, very close. That would come to a coin flip, honestly. If Aston Martin Coda beat Red Bull Japan, I would understand.
If I was voting on this too, I would also have a hard time because I love the Silverstone McLaren, of course. The Monaco McLaren I also like because that's a throwback to Bruce McLaren's McLaren. It was really cool. I just like that. The Williams in Brazil, it's a Gulf livery. I love Gulf liveries. It's gonna be that would probably be the hardest one for me. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's just now that you bring it up, like I'm just just reminiscing of like the first time I laid eyes on her, the Aston Martin car.
Your eyes were popping out of your head,
Dude, it's so beautiful. How could you not love it?
Moving on, the next category is Best Driver of 2025. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, George Russell.
Yeah. If you were to vote, would you go Homer here?
No.
Mm.
Objectively, Max was the best driver so subjectively. In my opinion, Max was the best driver of 2025 because that Red Bull was bad. Max is the only person that could have gotten what he did out of that Red Bull. Literally, we've said it all season. Max is the only person who could have done that. He's the only person who did do that. As much as I love Lando and he deserves to be the champion, Max was the better driver just from what he had to deal with and what he could do with what he had. He polished a turd and made it win.
Made it really good. We even got someone in the chat right now that says Verstappen as well.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I get it.
Yeah, that's where I would go, honestly. It would be if I went like the best drive of the season, it would be between him and George, just because George did really good. He was consistent, Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, George is just the definition of consistent. He is in the dictionary next to that word.
Yeah, I think Max had the best second half, but overall George had the better season, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Best radio message of 2025. Now these are not going to be the full quotes because I didn't want to type it all, but it's the "must be the water" from Charles. I've got an effing McLaren up my arse, George Russell, and I will disconnect the radio, Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, personally, it's these all three are so good. I love them so much. The whole Charles Leclerc, "it must be the water." Like it's just it. What tops it off for me, that quote, is goes, "Hey, there's something wet in here, and the water disconnected or whatever." And the engineer was like, "Oh, it must be the water." And Charles Leclerc still had the wherewithal to go put that up there. That was he
add that to the words of wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. I think that adds to it. But I love the old timey Fernando Alonso. Just seems like an old person. Like, if you keep talking to me, I will disconnect the radio. Like that is just an old person. Like, I will hang up the phone.
For me, if I were voting, it would be "must be the water," just because I think that is going to go down in history as one of the best radio messages of all time. Just that whole exchange, it was perfect. It was beautiful because it really just feels like Ferrari in a bottle, you know? Like in a sentence, it's the entirety of Ferrari and just that's it.
Yeah, because if you were to ask me like one of my favorite radio messages, it'd be "I am stupid" from Charles, and then I would say what was it at Turkey, where Charles is like, "Hey, if I pit now, like what position?" They're like, "Oh, if you get passed by third place, you'd be in third place." And so Charles, the Ferraris just have a great radio exchange. But yeah, I don't know if I had a vote. I don't know. Personally, I think the most out of character one is George Russell. I think that's why it's funniest. Because you don't hear him on the radio saying that. Now, if you told me Yuki said that, I would be okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Except when I think about George Russell's radio message, it's always like the "blimey," or he gets real British about it. But just I've got a effing McLaren up my arse is so hilarious. He's like, because then after that, the follow up to that, which I should have included, was, "Would you like me to let him pass?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "No."
Is...
George really was doing what he could there.
Yeah, and I think that personally, that would probably have my vote because that's the most out of character.
That's true. That's fair. Next category, best individual race. We have Isaac at the Dutch Grand
Mm,
Prix, Nico Silverstone, Lando at Abu Dhabi,
yeah.
Oscar at Bahrain, and Max Verstappen in Brazil.
Ooh. These are good ones.
Yeah. I wasn't going to include Max Verstappen, but my wonderful fiance reminded me because I'd sent her the survey. She's like, "You didn't include this," so I had to quick put it in because obviously Max Verstappen starting what from the pit lane
Yeah.
in Brazil and finishing on the podium. What the hell?
Yeah, that's
It's
just Max
incredible.
Verstappen.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
if
But
I had to,
then Nico's
yeah,
first podium, Isaac's first podium, after that incredible drive, Lando in Abu Dhabi, he had a couple things working against him. Granted, I know it was hard for him to not win, but the championship there, but he still did an incredible job of maintaining and winning because it very easily could have gone the other way. And Oscar Bahrain, that was just his most dominant win. He finished that race 15 seconds ahead of second.
yeah. Uh, personally, after watching Formula One for years, I
Mhm.
think the Nico Hulkenberg, in my opinion, it's just that it's equivalent of what was it 2000 Daytona 500, where Larry Mack was like, after years of trying, Dale Earnhardt finally wins, and it's
Mhm.
that moment in Formula One for me.
No, that's fair. It really is. It really, really is a cultural moment in Formula One that we got to witness, and it is really cool that we got to see that. And I haven't been watching Formula One as long as you, so it didn't quite hit me the same way, especially because Lando won that race, and I just that was a really fun race to watch, and I was just blinded by that car. But it's hard to argue against that Nico podium. My biggest, I, it's between Max or Nico or Isaac for me. I can't choose, and I'm glad I don't have to.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that. And I mean, Nico Hulkenberg has the record for the most race starts without a podium.
That's true.
So,
Not anymore.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
does
true.
he?
No, well, no, yeah, he still has it by a long shot, I think,
Yeah.
too. Uh, yeah.
All right. Well, the worst race of 2025. I only have three here. Uh, I probably blocked out more of them, but it's Las Vegas, Japan, and Spa, which hurts me because both two of Las Vegas hurts me because it's usually a good race, not for McLaren, but in general, it's had good racing. Spa hurts me because that is my favorite track, and it's just not suited for these cars anymore. I don't think.
I know.
And I mean, Japan also sucks because Suzuka on paper should be good, and it used to be good, but again, the cars just outgrew the track.
Yeah,
And it could put Monaco in there, but everybody would pick Monaco, so I decided not to pick Monaco. You
yeah,
know,
that's true.
that was too easy.
Yeah, that is very easy. I
And
think,
I was even though Lando won Monaco, it still the best part about that weekend was Lando's qualifying because he broke that record at Monaco, which I should have included best qualifying in here, but maybe next season.
yeah, it sucks. Like Spa, I love that track so
I
much.
do too. It's such a fun track to drive.
Yeah, if I were to vote on here, I think you know my vote. I would go for the Tilk track.
Hmm.
But yeah, it sucks. I had a Siri. Real quick hot take. You ready for a quick hot take?
Uh huh.
Spa would be better, and it would be more entertaining and better to watch if they ran it backwards. Aruj and
Really?
Radion would be the last corners.
That
Be safer too, because you would enter the pits from the top of the hill.
that's that's Coda. Basically, that's basically Coda. Not quite, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't.
Well, Coda starts with a sharp uphill to the left. This, if you're going
I was
backwards, you
thinking
would
at
go
the
through the
end.
bus stop and go
Yeah,
downhill.
my concern with that would be a potential end of the race being bad, just because you have to slow down so much, and it's just I don't know.
Well,
I'll have to chew on that a little bit. I don't know if I hate what you're saying.
yeah. Well, because right now, when they end the race, they have to like slow down a lot and then turn to the right to go into the
Do you think
pits.
it would
So,
be a problem for that downhill? That's the uphill in the normal way, but it would be a downhill right before.
I don't really think so because after you go up the hill, you got that little chicane, and then you take a chicane, you go down, you go left, and you got that big sweeping downhill already on that same track.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're already going downhill, you're already changing the elevation. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the cars should have enough downforce. There's no curbs there to get you airborne. I don't know. But that's my quick hot take.
All right, and that's it. Again, I'm posting the Google form on my Twitter right now. If you follow me at Grimminum on Twitter, I'm going to post it on Blue Sky. It's going to be in the description of this video, just down below, so it's there for you. Go ahead and vote.
Real
I'm excited to see who ends up winning what.
kind of maybe to persuade people a little bit for the Nico Hulkenberg. Most races before scoring a podium. Number 1, Nico Hulkenberg, 242nd race. Number 2 is Carlos Sainz, 101. Just let that sink in a little quick. And most points without a win, Nico Hulkenberg, 622 points, 0 wins. Fun fact for you guys.
Fun fact. Well,
Jack.
that does it for this week's. That was dumb. That does it for Formula Friday this week. Join us next week as we reveal the results of our season awards. We go over some more news because there's always more news, and whatever else comes up banter-wise. Maybe we have another random discussion about reverse Spa or what other tracks we think would be better in reverse, which we can actually test because in F125 they have reverse tracks.
Ooh, yeah, try that. Let me know. That's your homework.
Reverse Silverstone. That's my homework.
Yeah.
They have reverse Red Bull Ring. I don't know if they have reverse Silverstone. I'll have to dig into that. I've never messed with the reverse tracks because I thought it was dumb, but maybe not.
Yeah,
There could be
reverse
something there.
Spa. Maybe.
All right. Well, that's been Formula Friday. I've been Nick. That's been Lewis. Until next week.